here as Divide goes down. Now Mike arriving. There's a bunch of lightning fast. Colby collects 2. Chuck goes up to Forsaken. He'll find the headshot moments before that paranoia comes through. After shot.
Best part about Sage is pistol rounds. You can get a good wall up. Works a treat there. Expecting that somebody from PRX is going to try to create an off angle. This wall just causing so many problems. Best part about Sage is pistol rounds. You can get a good wall up. It's so much harder for your opponents. It certainly does. Polvi working that angle so well.
Hello, what's up, guys?
Now, a little bit of pace to this one is yeah.
That feels bad.
Yeah, they chose poorly, but that's okay. It's the eco. They have some sheriffs though. I mean, you never know. It is PRX. Replant, which to speak of, and PRX now gonna be coming all the way through. Alarm bot though, gonna be there to check it, and then a turret as well to follow up for Benkai. So he could be a real nuisance here along with Blaze King.
Alarmbot feeling in position of at least one. Fault line through. Blaze King just hopping out. Now it's just a clear out on the turret. Divide. Crisp shot. Takes out lightning fast off the rip. Opens up for the rest of the team to try to push forward, but Russ able to find back-to-backs. Maybe even a third. Jing for now just tucked away within the smoke. Divide thinking about sending out the wall. Opts not to. It is rather costly, and he will just get taken down. Push out. Blaze King able to find the final 2. Quick TP across and gets himself out of the blast radius. Global.
Nice.
Not losing out here on the anti-eco. They move up to 4.
Now they got a Thrash as well. Polvi doing what something did on the other side, getting that Thrash available very, very early here in their bonus. Gonna have a couple rifles as well, Bulldogs. So investing into this round, trying to get themselves ever so much closer to PRX. Some snappy shots from Russ. That Bulldog, Blaze King there to just lock it down. See if they can get something brewing here. Get this bonus. Oh yeah! Absolutely, they can be right back in it.
Oh, for sure. Thrash is available. Blaze King playing forward, just eating that fault line, wanting to be in position to get a punish if that Thrash comes up with any value. Flash through, double swing in, full blind across. Paint shells now to further delay. Lightning fast just gets tucked up into the corner. Keeps himself safe, follow-up damage not really found. Flash connecting onto 1. Lightning fast does end up getting picked off. Jing now finding Polvi.
Spike down A.
Mild back and forth here, but one that PRX are very much coming away from. Looking positive here.
Let's go.
Guy ready to try to intercept, but they're just so wise to it.
Man, oh man, Divide.
Walls him off, goes for the jump peek over the top.
Just so smart. That makes the map a little bit easier for you. Less to worry about, but Russ, jeez.
Very solid, just dry swing. Comes around the corner, is able to find Jing, gives him a fighting chance here. Creep up around the right-hand side. Weapons can be recoverable to try to upgrade that Spectre for Benkai.
30 seconds left.
Most of PRX is watching the other angle. Mind Freak going to be having to do the heavy lifting here.
Swing in. It's a shot. Right on the side. 0 point now coming through. Is Divide able to find 1, and that's going to be the cleanup from something. The bonus conversion not going to be found. PRX put their foot down here.
This is just really good stuff from PRX. Never over-aggressing onto this angle. You know, waiting for all of G to kind of get stuck in this corner, and able to set up a nice crossfire with Jing and Forsaken. The dynamic duo at it once again. Divide with a brilliant wall, brilliant read. So then if they're going to have to cut through there, it's going to give a lot of information over. Really makes your life a lot simpler for PRX, but so re-aggress towards A. Shut down well. Bunch of util here. Exchanged on both sides.
He can be taken. No forward presence here from PRX, so slowing things up and ushering them away. Mindfreak in the meantime, very deep position.
Yeah, he loves to.
Main. Ben
Yeah,
guy.
he loves to do this.
Yeah, suspicious about it.
Should be in your mind.
Push.
See this from time to time. Oh no. Oh no.
Here's the footsteps. Devi drawing their attention towards the site itself. Paranoia now ready to be sent. Backpedal from Polvi. He gets himself out to safety. 3 players lost in the mix there. Even the damage done on Devi. Pop the heel. Get a little bit back. Still fairly low, but now realistically, where do you try to go? Both players just sat here in mid.
Trying to create an angle here. Jing just gonna sneak into that corner, and he gets the jump on Blaze King. Finds
it now, knows that Polvi is right here, and he's just being hounded from every single angle. Takes a fight up top mid, finds one, can't snap on the Jing fast enough though. We'll put him down, forsaking the only casualty in the round.
Nice,
PRX now get themselves up to map point.
And now with the showstopper as well, gonna have to be just as cautious. And no duelist for the side of GE means they have to be so methodical with any push they make. So it's going to require utility. It's going to require giving over information to PRX to make some moves. Hard to be explosive on the back of it. Hard to deal with things when you're not checking that back angle on B main. You know, you see that all the time. Forsaken Mindfreak love to hang out in that corner and just kind of slip the minds of GE. They pay the price.
Our air sight as Alex smiles in the coach booth. And it's been pretty just breezy here for him.
Saving on our desk budget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No need to intervene thus far. But for Global, it's a monumental task, one that seems pretty much impossible. But if you've got the timeout, you may as well send it. Don't want to be like Termy last year.
But look at where they're at now.
It's fair.
Yeah. I mean, definitely sent a few fans into a tizzy at Termy's lack of timeouts. But you never know. She may be able to string a few together, get a little momentum, going into Icebox, going into their map pick. Still, again, just checking for anything. Something just looking there with Forsaken, but
gotta be
mid
careful.
push,
If they make any noise, that showstopper could just come through. All gonna be sent. Forsaken, I mean, still swinging out. Gets tagged low. Jing, in the meantime, finds Russ. Now they're kind of locked into this position. They have to push forward into A. They don't necessarily know that it's only something waiting for them on this site. The rest of the team making their way across. We'll just go for the attacker's approach towards main in all likelihood. The alarm bot is also there to alert. Oh, something distracted by the wingman. Lightning fast, able to find the headshot. 3v4 to try to finish the map right here and now. Otherwise, Global gonna be hanging in there. Showstopper sent. Is he getting the connection? Rocket sent in back. Benkai still gonna get caught by this one. Polvi, he's unable to get on top of him. Divine now counter swings back across, finds the kill here onto the Gecko, and suddenly it's all on Blaze King. Low HP on Jing. The wall coming up. They're both riding it, and he cannot get the adjustment. Jing with 3 will get the defuse and get the map win for PRX.
Yeah. PRX.
Feels like they never left.
Nice.
A great change up in the comp. Works a treat. The Sage Walls give just that little extra edge for PRX. Don't mind what GE was thinking in some ways, but that lack of duelist, that lack of ability to push space, to punish some of your util catches and things like that, it ended up costing them. Of course, it's just PRX. They're damn good.
PRX doing PRX things, but now we've got Icebox on the horizon for Global to see if they can hang in the series. But for now, we'll pass it back over to the analyst desk.
PRX doing PRX things, and we saw not one, but 2 of the very first knife kills in stage 1 here in Pacific. Oh man, they were out to have some fun, and yes, they completely changed their comp. They hardly used Breach. Very interesting that they pulled that in. Not surprising that they put Divide back on the stage, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is very much probably a decision to put the Sage in first, I want to say, just because of the success saves they've found with that. Also, the lack of the Sentinel really used to play them. Obviously, Sage a little bit different in the traditional Sentinel role, but then also the Breach now able to do a lot more setup from long range. You're able to do a lot more long-range support for mid, you know, down A main, things like that. So overall, I like it. I like the comp change over from GE as well, right? Taking a page out of PRX's book, actually. Moving away from the double controller, though. But it does seem like it needs a little bit more time to cook in terms of the syncing of the utility and maybe over-investment sometimes just to take control of certain parts.
I like the cause and effect for that, you know, the Breach specifically for Forsaken here. You know, you talk about how it can help from long range, and what this kind of does on the composition for Global Esports, now that you don't have a duelist, it kind of slows them down even further. So there was very little, I think, chances for Global to really get into the site before PRX get there to try to kind of stop them because of how well, you know, Forsaken and Divide have been using their utility to slow them down. And that's what we saw, how, again, kind of lost Global was in the sauce, trying to go in as aggressively as possible, but not really getting that satisfaction or that success that they were kind of hoping for.
Yeah, I mean, also, obviously, you know, PRX, they lost to a Breach as well when they were playing against Team Secret. We saw the impact that NV continues to have on that agent on this map. So I think just taking something away from their opponents as well, really continuing to learn and evolve. But most importantly, obviously, for PRX, a lot more syncing, right? In terms of how they're double peeking, how they're peeking off of each other's util, also just individually looking a lot sharper. Meanwhile, on GE, we didn't see the same level of fire that we saw in their last game. And I would also say, again, you know, how they peek around each of their utility, things like that, just seemed a little bit off, right? Maybe a couple misses from the flashes, things like that, where it's like, I don't mind the composition necessarily, but it's not entirely perfect in consistency.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. It didn't feel like PRX was playing not W gaming, and they were playing a lot more trappy, just kind of, you know, ratty around the corners. And because of that, Global was kind of expecting a more aggressive PRX. You saw how on the first pistol round, they were kind of just stacked triple on middle and saw nobody from PRX there, and they kind of felt a little bit lost in terms of the reads.
Sure, yeah, I mean, I think that absolutely has an effect, and I think it's smart of PRX to do that, right? If I had to pick one team out of their matchups coming into stage 1 that they should watch out for the W gaming, it would be against GE, right? You know that this team is going to try to play clever around you. You know that they're going to try to ante you. So going for a bit of a change, also again with the comp as well, to really benefit that, I think it's a really good prep coming in from PRX.
Yeah, and it's definitely paid off. This is looking like the sunset that we saw earlier in the year from this team when Manya was still on the team. It looks like Jing is finally fully synced with them and performing the way we know Jing can perform.
I mean, listen, I think it's a little too early, though, right? Even the casters are saying, like, well, it feels like they never left. But that's the thing, is that coming into stage 1, Jing surpassed all of our expectations and being a lot more in sync than we thought he would be in the first couple matches. And then they had a bit of trouble against Team Secret. Now, obviously, you mentioned it earlier, Asterai, head coach Frost from Talon mentioned that it's a bit of a matchup thing probably for Team Secret and PRX. Yes, historically, that's absolutely true. But, when another team challenges them again, is PRX also going to get shaken again? I mean, I think it's a little too early to say, have they fully been tested all the way to their limits?
Yeah, I will say, though, at least specifically on a single player here, something that was looking a little bit lost when they played Sunset against Team Secret, and that was our biggest frame of reference because we're back here on Sunset. He's been doing pretty good. I felt like he didn't play the op as much as I thought he was. He wasn't playing the Outlaw, when they won that pistol round against Global Esports, because it felt like they were just playing a lot more off of each other, using that SMG to full fruition, and so on and so forth, which, again, gave more, I think, options for PRX without having to put themselves on the line to get those options.
So it's going to be very interesting going into Icebox. They just switched up their comp for Sunset based on, their performance 2 days ago, and they're kind of famous for this, just switching up the comp. Icebox as well. Global is really damn good at Icebox, and there are teams already who've doubted them, picked Icebox thinking it'd be fine, we figure them out, and it turns out they didn't. PRX, on the other hand, they had 1 win, 1 loss. Are they going to switch things up? Are they going to stick to the strat and just learn from their mistakes?
It's a good question. I was thinking about this watching the sunset because I think there is a chance that they change the comp, right? Because possibly part of the reason they looked a little broken against Team Secret is the comp wasn't really suiting their comms, right? That could be a two-way street. So could they switch it? Sure. However, I would say that this composition has much less like fundamental weaknesses compared to what we might have been seeing from their previous sunset. So if they stick with it, again, no big surprise there either. I mean, they both have a Sage as well, so it's not going to be a huge difference. Obviously, the biggest thing is going to be the Gecko versus a KO. I mean, when it comes to single initiator, I'm not sure if I have a strong preference of one over the other.
I think for me, I go the other way. I think Gecko's pretty strong right now, so might as well. Again, because of so many post-plant traps, it's nice to have your wingman as the well, proverbial just punching bag for the other team. So
Sure.
that's just kind of something to bring it out there. And we have seen, some teams really just pick it up. It's quite easy to do so.
I like how you kind of were apologetic about calling him a punching bag. You're like, oh, I feel bad about that. But it's true. But it's true, and that's exactly what Wingman is there for. He's your little homie. Now I got a question for you guys. It's time to rank up or de-rank. We're going to figure out how far we can rise or fall. Who is going to be the first player to have their ult online? So not using the ult, but the first ult online. And it's between Benkai or Divai here.
On Icebox.
On Icebox. So it's a very interesting pick. Look at, you're such a...
I know, I gotta...
Never gonna share your answers.
No.
He's like covering his answers.
Did I get this right? Okay.
All right, I hope you guys ready to reveal?
Yep.
3, 2, and I think it's gonna be Divai. Of course, Will. So why are you gonna de-rank today?
Because Paper X, I believe, is starting on attack. And obviously, if it goes into an all-out brawl, sure, Divai is going to get a lot of kills. But in terms of like ult orbs and plants, usually it's Forsaken kind of going in with the KO, things like that. Someone at least trying to get the plant first. While Benkai probably going to be holding in Kitchen and B, going to be a little bit safer, might pick up a couple cheeky kills here and there. Could still be available to go for the defuse, things like that. I'm just thinking,
How about you, sir?
the flow of the map.
I was just kind of thinking the opposite for Benkai here because he plays on a Sentinel, and usually I kind of see him when he's on Icebox gets pushed back really far. The only way that he's going to be able to charge up his ulti is just by dying for the most part, because it's going to be Paper X flooding into the site. So that's kind of my thought process. Real short and simple.
I agree with that. That this is going to be one of two main circumstances. The other scenario I could see him getting his ult online first as a Sentinel is if he's the last guy standing and he just happens to nail a whole bunch of them in once and gets an orb in the process. But right now,
I mean, this is you guys assuming that Paper X is going to lead in the rounds. Like, you guys are talking as if they're getting the round wins.
Oh, hell yeah.
See, that's where you're wrong.
okay.
GE is going to get the defensive round wins, which gives Benkai more opportunities to go for things like the defuse.
Okay.
Simple as.
All right. Okay. I like
these silly people with their assumptions.
What's your rank again? Oh, okay.